Okay, noises, mainly from the wealthy West. About 10 years ago, I predicted for the first time, and since that day I was really walking my talk with press articles and public presentations, that in 15 years, plus minus 5, you, young people living in the Western countries, will go out into the streets in protest against older generations. At that time, I assumed that the key source of your motivation would be an increasingly painful awareness of two underlying trends in your life. Firstly, that as the first generation in history of a successful political West, you would have to earn a living for yourself and for three other generations. As always, for your own children by spending your salaries, and for your parents with your regular pension contributions. But this time also for parents of your parents who live longer and who want to enjoy the demographic paradise. The problem is, and that was my second global observation, that this additional responsibility would fall on your shoulders at the time of progressive competitiveness of the rest of the economic world, rapidly emerging and depriving your young Western families of historical status of being better off. Unfortunately, I was right, and only one part of my long term assumption was incorrect. I simply underestimated, in line with some earlier scientific reports, your today's fears driven by all observable climatic anomalies, taking place much faster and on a much larger scale than we all thought even 10 years ago. So, yes, you finally went out into the streets and you started your protests against older generations, all in line with my prediction. But the prime targets of your attack are now both climate security and economic opportunity. To achieve your goal, you even use a linguistic weapon of emotional mass destruction. Okay, boomer, a label for irrelevance which you apply to anyone older who, in your view, has an out of touch attitude towards your future challenges. But the boomers in the West have not created your problems, at least not intentionally. They were simply historically lucky to inherit post war prosperity. And when it comes to stealing your future, nobody is on the side of the angels, not even you. Just listen, please, again to your own voice. You keep shouting about your stolen dreams, but do you really understand life stories of your statistical parents and your statistical grandparents, and especially those in so called emerging countries, in the East and in the South? You demand from us, the boomers, radical changes to our thinking about your future, but we all have to change our human nature first. You say out with the old, in with the young. I say out with the same, in with the different. So please tell me, can you be different people? Yes, we really need planetary mind, entrepreneurial politicians, global competition, responsible capitalism, ambitious bureaucracy, intensive innovation, democratization of wealth, and intergenerational fairness. But we also need a method of balancing rival values and conflicting interests, not only between Western generations, but also between different economic geographies. And we have to base everything we do on uncorrupted concept of total ecological cost. You simply don't deserve a better future if you don't fight for it in an honest and forward-looking way. Okay, I'm a boomer. For me, this is just a plain statistical truth. What is much more important for all of us, I share your sense of urgency and desperation, and I certainly don't hate you. Unfortunately, I'm also a very disappointed boomer, irritated by your shallow noise. Please stop surfing through your life using boards of Insta wisdom and start scuba diving in search for a truly meaningful change. And ask not what the older generations can do for you, ask what you can do for all generations. Okay, noisers, this war against us is pure nonsense. Let's go back into the streets, this time together, to demand human solidarity from all. Anyway, have a nice day.